Now here's another thing I've learned, and I may have alluded to this in times past on these little vignettes I'm doing, but it really is bearing on my mind today. Let me put it this way. God's destination for my life is not a place, it's a person, and that person is Jesus Christ. Now I know that we are to pray for God's will, seek His will. Jesus taught us to ask, seek, knock. Isaiah is one of my favorite books that talks about God's ordering our steps and our days, and He is watching the steps that we take. David is great at making how plain it is that God is keeping our feet from slipping and our steps from failing, and He knows the number of days that we have to live, and He holds our times in His hand. That's so comforting and so real, and it's true. But after all these years, I am coming to realize that the real destination of my life is Jesus Christ. If I can get to a deeper knowledge of Jesus, I don't worry about my steps failing. If I can have a better understanding of the Lord, I'm not worried about things being arranged in my life or working it out in time. No, if I can rest in Jesus, be complete in Jesus, I find that everything else works out. So I don't want you to put the cart before the horse and think about where you need to go and live and what car you need to buy and all of that, and then ask God to help Jesus guide your steps. No. What we should do is seek Jesus. The kingdom of God must be sought first. We don't seek things or plan things and then ask Jesus to bless it. We seek Jesus. And in the seeking of Jesus, there is blessing, there is comfort, there is peace, and that great thing, there is rest. How wonderful is rest? It's what we're all after. That's one reason we kind of buzz through life and we feel like bees around a beehive sometimes, because we're restless. We're trying to find something. Folks, when you find that you are complete in Jesus, there is rest. That's why the destination needs to be Jesus. Now, I know in the process of seeking Jesus, sometimes we move from place to place. Sandra and I were living in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Jesus moved us from Cincinnati to Charlotte to start this central church. He does move us around. We go from place to place at times. But we sought God while we were there. We wanted to know Him. You see, once you become addicted to Jesus, everything else falls into place. Now that's a good phrase right there. Addicted to Jesus. Can't make a day matter without Him. Nothing lasts or has meaning without Jesus. That's why Paul said, and it might be one of the most quoted verses of Paul, that I may know Him. Because when I know Him, I know that everything is fine. If I go after Him, I know that He's already been after me. David said in the 63rd Psalm, I think, my soul follows hard after you, O God. I want you. You are my destination. You are my goal. You're what I'm after. And I'm just believing that somebody needs to hear this now. Somebody whose life seems to be frantic. You might be in a frenzy right now. Seek Jesus. Quit trying to figure out if you should move, sell the house, any of that. Seek Jesus. Just go somewhere and wait on the Lord and let Jesus fill the room where you are. Don't try to figure it out. Just enjoy Jesus. Rest in Him. And I think you'll find that once you arrive in Jesus, everything else is just what you need. So that's another thing I've learned. And by the way, if you're interested on finding me on Twitter, here's my Twitter account. I think that's the way you say it. I'm still learning all of this. You can find me on Loran Livingston at Pastor, capital P, _ Loran, capital L. I think that's the way they told me to say it. Loran Livingston at Pastor _ Loran. You can log on. I do some tweeting every day. I think I tweet or twit or something like that, and give scriptures, and I also put things I've learned on there. So join me on that account, and I'll see you next time.